Spiritual Magic with Denise and Cathlene. So February is all about what, Denise?
Love. It's all about love. It's the month of love. It's just a wonderful, beautiful month.
Now, I know Valentine's Day is in February, but what else makes February the month of love?
It's how the universal numerology flow is going. We have some really high vibrational days of love with the numbers falling on the right day with the right crystals, the beautiful angels of love, just vibrationally. As a month itself, it is vibrating as a 5, which is all about freedom and adventure and new beginnings as well. But through the days, there's definitely an added energy of love vibration, which is incredible because love is the highest vibrational energy of all. So it's just surrounding this month. And I think that's why a lot of people are just feeling uplifted this month. And you can almost feel that gorgeous, gentle, feminine energy that's coming with it. So even though it's Valentine's, this year, February has an energy of love around it as well, which is just incredible. So we all need to soak that up. Just beautiful, beautiful energy.
Yeah, so when you're saying, we're talking about love, and I think when most people think of the word love, they think of a mate, a soulmate. And in my mind, from what I hear from clients and friends and just general people, is that love, first we think of a soulmate or a mate that we're with.
Yeah.
Secondly, we may think of our children, if we have any children.
Yeah.
Thirdly, we may think of our grandchildren, if we have those.
Yeah.
But we don't think about ourselves.
Exactly.
That mix, which what you're talking about too, about the vibrational energy, is also that if you don't have a mate it doesn't matter because it's really about loving yourself. So that's what you're talking about here, which then can obviously radiate out into other areas. But
yeah, absolutely. Because it starts with yourself. You have to be open to love, to be able to give love. If you're a big love giver, you need to let love in, because if you don't, that cup's going to be empty. And I always say to people, self-love, how to measure if you're even open to it. It's like opening the key, opening the lock, if you like. So if you're not being open to even accepting a compliment, coming through the keyhole, how can the rest of love open the door if you're not even letting a compliment in? Some people can't even accept somebody saying, oh, I like your hair today, or that's a pretty dress. We have to be open to love, and self-love is, it's so important. And that's where, for me, the core energy of love starts, is with yourself and that beautiful heart center, and letting that radiate out. Because I think it was measured somewhere that our energy field is something like 1.5 kilometers. So imagine if you're pouring love out and sharing that positivity, how that's going to make people feel around you. Because we all know we're affected by how other people's energy is around us. So you just need to soak that love up. It's so important to start with yourself, and then move that into wider relationships and pour it into wider relationships.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Because when you said something about the compliments, I do talk about that in the self-perception book, 30-day self-perception makeover, because it's all about what we think and feel about ourselves. But when you said that about the energies and receiving compliments, it goes both ways. And so I always like to give people a tip that when you receive a compliment, just say thank you.
Yes.
If you don't know if you don't know what else to say because you're caught off guard or you're not used to getting compliments, just say thank you and stop there. Reason is because sometimes people will go on and on, right? They'll say, oh, I love your shirt. It's like, oh my gosh, I have had this thing forever. I just threw it on. And while you're doing that, and we've all done it comes natural because we have the outside world coming in. But when we do that, we are then letting off a negative energy vibration because we are putting ourselves in a less than place. And
Yes,
so then
exactly.
here we go. We're less than. And that person that gave us the compliments sort of thinking now, like, okay.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But that's a great tip. That's a great tip. Just say thank you.
And
That's a
stop.
really good tip.
Like
That's
simple.
really good.
Just
Yeah.
stop. Because also by saying just thank you, what you're doing to that person is you're also lifting them up because they know they just gave somebody a compliment and they just made somebody feel good. And that person is just recognized that they made them feel good, period.
Yeah.
And we both go off at a higher energy vibration. And honestly, like that can change somebody's day. It can change somebody's
Yeah.
life. So
Mm.
in the month of February, we should do this all the time, but let's think about that too. Let's think about giving and receiving compliments because when you give compliments as well, you tell me what you think of this, Denise, but when you're giving compliments, you are actually mirroring yourself, right? So you're giving out what you feel about yourself. And
Yeah.
I talk a little bit too about, even if you don't feel like it, sometimes give them. So I'm just going to touch on that. But and in that case, if you can just give it out and you don't really feel it inside yet, you're still raising your energy vibration. Even if it's a twinge, you will change that other person's day. In turn, you will be raising your energy vibration more. And it's just a catch-22 of amazingness, really. So in February, let's think about doing that as well.
It's magic in, magic out all the time.
Exactly.
That energy flowing and it's just wonderful. Just wonderful.
Yeah.
But I love that. Saying thank you. That's a really good tip. That's a really good tip.
Now I have my rose quartz crystal that I have, and I actually have a couple of them in different places depending on where I am. I have one in my gym. I have one in the office. I have one in my room.
Yeah.
And I have one actually in the living room.
Yeah.
So because I feel those energies and I just love that. Every time I look at it, I even think love. Even I know it has energetic properties, but it even makes my mind shift to love. So tell us what you know about rose quartz, because I know you and I talk about this.
Well, I've got a chunk of it here. I'm sure everybody knows rose quartz. It's almost like the lady's crystal. It's such a lady's crystal.
Yeah.
And it's the most one that we're most drawn to because it's the one that a lot of us need the most. We need that self-love. So when you go crystal buying, you'll find sometimes that it's rose quartz that you're drawn to. So you need that energy. And I have my free recommended crystals and rose quartz is there with them. So it's good for promoting self-love. It's good for sending love out as well. I put crystals above all my doorways. So I have a line of crystals over the top of each door in the house. You could put it at the front door to welcome love in. So I put it over every door so that every door has that love energy coming in and out, You can actually use it for bathing as well if you're using a tumble stone. I wouldn't use raw quartz in the bath, but you can actually use tumble stones in a bath around the new moon, the full moon. Drop your rose quartz crystals in, put some rose oil in, some pink Himalayan salt, which has a really good energy quality to it. And then just sprinkle some petals on and just treat yourself to a gorgeous love bath, a gorgeous rose quartz bath. And it's a nice crystal to gift to somebody. If you feel like somebody's going through a bit of a traumatic time or they're not feeling love about themselves, it's different from confidence. There's a difference between self-confidence and self-love. But for self-love, I would always gift rose quartz. And it's a lovely month to do that around too. So it's just got such a beautiful energy to it. And as you know, a lot of ladies have the tumble stone, like a tiny one there. But a lot of ladies have tumble stones, keep it in the bra, so it opens up the heart chakra.
Yeah.
It opens up the heart chakra. But if you find that it's constantly falling out, one lady said to me, I keep putting it in, but it keeps falling out. So I said, well, you're topped up. It's letting you know you're topped up. Go and cleanse it now, get your selenite, cleanse it, and then when you feel you need its energy again, you can put it back in again. But it's a really, really versatile crystal, You could even, around a full moon, when you're charging your moon water up, you can put your rose quartz on top of the jar. So you're charging moon water up with love. And then you can either put that in a bath or you can put it around your spiritual space. There's so many different things you can use rose quartz with. Within my Moon Circle group, we did a rose quartz crystal grid this month. So we did a live crystal grid, and then all the ladies sent their pictures of theirs in. So it even itself, just through that, is spreading an energy of love. It is a truly versatile, beautiful crystal, and it's one we're all gone through.
Yeah, and I know we'll talk more about crystals here in spiritual magic, but since we're talking about love and people have, say, a rose quartz that they've gotten, what should they feel? So some people, I know I've been asked this question, I know you have. So should I have this and feel something from it? Or
when you get your crystal, the best thing to do when you get your crystal is to cleanse it first of all. So you can cleanse it with selenite, which is like this, a long piece of selenite. But then you can set your intentions with it. So you can just sit and get to know it, hold your crystal, get to know it. Some people like to hold it in their less dominant hand. You know, you can be open to that, which hand you want to hold it in. But you can just, sometimes it will feel cool, sometimes it will be cool, sometimes it will be hot, sometimes they even flip over, so don't get freaked out by that. It's just them, you know, like sharing the love. But you can just get to know it, you can set your intentions with it. So if you're using it for self-love, you would say, you know, I just would love to increase my self-love energy, you know, I would just love that, to be open to love more, and I'd like you to help me with that. You can ask it to help you with relationship or your family, with love with your family. And there's also an angel, well, a couple of angels that you can call on as well in relation to that too. So we could talk about that in a little while as well when we touch on angels with love. But you can, crystals have different energies with different people. So it's like a personal thing. It goes with your energy, how you feel it. But I can feel that now. That's quite warm. That's, you know, so for me that's warm. Some people it may feel cool. You can actually do facials with it as well. You know, so when you cleanse and tone, put your crystals on your face to just give love to your beauty regime as well. There's a lot of movement within the spiritual industry to spiritual beauty, which is, there's some incredible things going on with that. So maybe we could look at that one day as well.
Yeah, because we're talking about the spirit, putting those on, you know, when you're cleansing your face and things of that nature. One of the self-perception, now I'll mention here, self-perception and self-love, they are a little bit different, but self-perception is what you think and feel about yourself, which is in turn, do you love yourself? So it's all kind of the same, but maybe the way you approach it is a little different. But I wanted to say this because when you're talking about that, one of the other tips that I love to give people, which really works, is every morning when you wake up, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and find something that you love about yourself. Whether it's your eyes, your eyebrows, your nose, your mouth, your freckles, your hairline. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's always something we love about ourselves.
Yes, absolutely.
If you look at yourself long enough. I always like to tell people to start with their eyes.
Yes.
Because if you really, not only are they with the windows to your soul, right? We've heard that a million times. But if you really look in your eyes, like they are so unique. Everybody's eyes are so unique. They're not just brown. They're not just hazel. They're not just blue. They're not just green. Like they're different. And you see all those little lines going through the color of your eyes. I think it's amazing. I just find it fascinating. And I think because I started looking at my eyes when I was really, really young, because I was always told that I had the same color eyes as my dad. And they're hazel. And so they do change color sometimes. But I would look in there and I would look at his eyes and I would look at my eyes and I just wanted to like really investigate it. And when you really look at your eyes and the beautiful colors that they are, I mean, like bask in that. for at least like 18 seconds.
Yeah.
Either
Yeah.
before or after you have cleansed your face and put your crystals on it for your crystal
Yeah.
beauty, right?
Yeah.
What that does is it raises your energy vibration. It also allows you a point every single morning to start your day off by loving
Yeah.
yourself and raising your
Yeah.
self-perception. And
Yeah.
I love combining that with what you just told us about the crystal beauty. I mean, I love
Oh,
that. So I will be doing that. I have not done that with the crystals on my face.
oh,
I'm gonna do that, and let's just see how much better. Like this, we'll check
oh,
how
well,
much
I'll
better.
have to show you. There's so much coming through, and I've got a rose quartz roller on its way, like a rose quartz roller for your face, so you can do facial massage with it. It's just beautiful. But there's so much happening in the industry as well with like ground selenite and the ground crystal powders. It's incredible. But I love that when you're saying about looking into your eyes. I think that's important on a lot of levels as well, because I think in the morning when you're looking into your own eyes, you almost get a story coming back to you. Your eyes will talk to you.
Yes.
And then I think you just get that swell of gratitude when you just think, look at all the marvelous things that your body can do, and you've had moving through life all it's been through, and you just think you should be so grateful for our bodies and the magic that they do to keep us going as well. But I think that is a really good point to look into your eyes. I think, like you say, eyes are the window to the soul, and they just speak so much. And there is something, I think, looking in a mirror and deep into a mirror into your eyes. There's a bit of magic around that as well, I think, and it'll set your vibration for the day. And it gives you a lift. And sometimes I can do it and you'll get a story back and it can almost make you giggle.
Yeah.
It sets your vibe and it can almost make you giggle. And you're thinking, all right, here we go. Here's another wonderful day. Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that.
Yeah. And while we're talking about looking in the mirror and doing our facial thing, and with the crystals and looking in our eyes, another thing we say where you get giggly is
Yeah,
if you stay there long enough. I love to do it to where I will imagine and visualize something. I mean, I call
yeah,
it go-to vision, but something that really gets me excited. And so it's not something I'm supposed to be excited about, like something that really gets me excited. And it could totally like not make sense to anybody else. Okay.
yeah,
It could be
yeah,
about, a stuffed animal I had when I was younger and you just touch
yeah,
it. I mean, it can be anything. Okay.
yeah,
Jet skiing, which I talk about a lot, but whatever it is, then you really start to raise that self-love and your healthy self-perception because you're connecting
yeah,
your eyes, right? The windows to your soul into
yeah,
something that really lifts you up. You've got the crystals, the love crystals already around you, and
yeah,
you will really start to open up the flow to start manifesting on purpose. I
yes.
mean, it's so
Right.
amazing, isn't it? Because it doesn't take that much time really, but you do have to focus in, right? So then
Yeah,
again, we're back to loving yourself. You have to
yeah,
know that you have to spend time just like you give to everybody else.
yes,
You have to
yes.
fill your
So
tank.
important.
You said that at the
Yeah,
beginning, making sure you're not giving out so much, that you're
yeah,
not getting some back. And we have to do that. It has to be a priority with,
yeah,
with
definitely.
ourselves every day. And this is a great month to do it.
Yeah. And I think also when you do that in the morning, when you get that look and you use your crystals, say good morning to your crystals, always say good morning to my crystals. But it sets you, it gets that sense of excitement going for the day. And life is so exciting. It's so exciting. And we never know what's around the corner. There's always surprises coming. And so you've got so much to look forward to, I think, in life. It's incredible. It's an incredible gift to have. So I think that it does set your vibe for the day. It does get you excited. But it's all about self love. And as you say, it's sort of starting the day with sunshine in your soul so that when you do come to share love, you've got it to be topped back up as well. And when you're open to people with love, when you're open, that helps it flowing easier, because negative energy is harder to get through than positive energy. That's a fact. It's just harder to get through. Positive energy electrically connects a lot easier than negative energy. It sort of misses negative energy, misses, but positive energy connects. So it's just wonderful, just wonderful. But yeah, definitely rose quartz is the one for love, definitely.
We're just going to veer off the path, kind of, sort of, but not really, for just a quick second, because we're talking about how we're raising our energy vibrations. You can start the day on a high note, not so that if you're open, it's harder to get the the negativity. If you're negative, it's going to be harder to let that love in, whether it be for yourself or for anyone else. But also, I guess I just want to throw out there that if you are in a relationship, right? If you're with somebody, a significant other, or any type of relationship, and it's not good, it's not good. You're thinking right now when you're listening to us, I'm not sure how my day is going to get better because I am surrounded by negativity. But by knowing that, if we said taking this time for yourself and loving yourself, even if you raise your energy vibration a twinge, you will start to see a shift, right?
Yeah. And I think as well, we'll talk about this when we're talking about negative people that are around you. Emotion is a gift. It's a gift. I think Buddha said emotion is a gift. For people, you can either choose to accept or you can leave it with the giver. So if somebody's trying to give you negativity, or somebody's trying to give you anger, or somebody's trying to give you jealousy, try not to take it into your heart. You can sort of acknowledge that, but don't take it into your heart. Don't take it into your emotion. You can say, okay, I'm acknowledging that, but I'm leaving that energy with you. I'm not going to let that affect my energy, because it's so important that we protect our own energy. So you can actually, barrier that negative energy a little bit like that by not taking on the emotion of it. You can acknowledge it, but don't take on that emotion, and don't let it affect your energy. And then you're just leaving that with the other person. And a lot of the time when you do that, when they're giving you that emotion and they're expecting an explosion and you don't, you're just like calm. They don't know what to do then. They're like, what do I do now? So it breaks that. It breaks that energy. It's so important to protect it.
And that goes with what we were just saying, is even if you raise your energy vibration a twinge, and that leads me, we'll try not to veer off our path too much here, because we'll be right back onto love. But this has to do with too, when we're saying protect those energies. I have something I call the Cathlene bubble theory, and I know you've heard me talk about this before, but where I put up a soft bubble, I picture it as a clear bubble, like if you're blowing bubbles through the bubble, and I allow that negative energy to come and then bounce off that bubble and go into the universe and dissolve. And I, not even saying a word to the other person, doesn't matter. I just let it dissolve, because you were saying, about the energies and how you don't want to take those in, because energy are magnetic. I like to think of them as magnetic. Like when I talk about manifesting and I say I like to use the word magnetize and create, energies are magnetic. So we have to be sure that we put up that opposing magnet, right? So that it goes boop and then goes out. And the reason why I know we wanted to bring this up is because we all, whether you've been there before or you know somebody or you're in that situation now where we're sitting here telling you about February is the month of love and you need to start loving yourself, and there's negativity all around you or you're living in it every day. Sometimes you may think, yeah, that's for everybody else, but not me. But no, this is actually not, it's for you probably even more so because you're not there yet. So let's start working on it. Even that little bit. I always like to say a twinge, because it can be like a minute little bit, but it piles on top of each other until then you come out of the fog and you're like, oh, this is what they were talking about. I get it now.
Let it go. And also, I know, like you're saying, sometimes it's hard, but if you're coming from a place of love and gratitude in your heart constantly, that's growth, and it's good for you because you can feel that within yourself as well. So even if you're in like a really negative relationship or, just an angsty relationship, try and be grateful for what you have, or just be grateful for you that you're not like that.
Yes.
And that will grow, because once you recognize that's not me, that's them, then that's going to blossom in you and help you grow. It will help you grow and have confidence to change that relationship or do something about it or help the other person with what they're dealing with. But I know sometimes it can be hard to hear that because,
Yeah.
of the situation some people find themselves in. But it's like finding that little bit of light within you that can help you grow and help you bloom. And we'll touch on angels. Shall I touch on angels now? Because
Yes, let's do that.
Archangel
Yeah.
Michael can help you with that. You can call on Archangel Michael, who's all about helping us shine our lights and helping us grow. And he also gives you confidence as well. And then you've Archangel Uriel, who's all about love. So and there's so much connection of him around this month as well. So you can, Archangel Uriel is the angel of love. So you can just call upon them as well to help you. When you're using your crystals within meditation is another good tool as well, because you can just take yourself off in your mind away from what you're in. But I love what you say about the bubble. A lot of people do that and they can just start it from the feet and let it go right over them. And you can use different coloured bubbles. Some people use pink bubbles, silver, gold, whichever you feel
Yes.
comfortable with. And I sometimes as well, if I'm out in the car with different people, even though they don't know, I think I'm just going to bubble this car while we're driving, just so you don't get any stressed out drivers on the journey. Just bubble the car. And one of my ladies in my group, she bubbles the house sometimes when she knows she's got visitors coming that she doesn't really connect with. She says, I'm just going to bubble my house.
You know what though? That is so true, and it's such a good idea. I remember the
Yeah.
first time I heard about bubbling other things was from
Yeah.
my mother. And when I would go, my family and I would go fly somewhere. She'd say, "Oh, I've got protection around the plane. I put the bubble around the plane."
Yeah.
And she does that too with the house. Even if I want to, before I live near where she does. And I was like, well, I can just bubble anything then, not just myself. But it is because it's so visual. And I believe that is why I love that kind. Now, I have some people that will do something different. Maybe it's not a bubble, right? Maybe they have some sort of a veil or whatever works for you. It's because
Yeah.
there's no right or wrong way to do any of this, right? It's
Yeah.
just whatever feels right.
Absolutely. There's another tool that some people use as well, and that's a shower. So when you're in the shower, they imagine the water as like golden light cleansing them, or a rose-colored light cleansing them. So to imagine all that negativity being washed away as well. So I know a few people do that, and I do like that idea.
I
And
do.
also, a quick tip is if you are in the bath, like I mentioned before, if you're doing a rose bath,
Yes.
if you were in the bath, you can just immerse yourself for a few seconds under the water, and that helps to cut any, like when we have energy threads, negative
Yes.
threads, the odd say blow the cobwebs away. Well, that helps to just dip your head under the water. It just cleanses your whole energy as well. And I suppose in a way that's where baptizing comes in as well, from that. So, but yeah, the shower is a lovely one. It's cleansing water. There's so many different techniques when you really get into it. So many different techniques.
So when you're talking about the angel
Yeah,
Uriel,
yeah, yeah.
um, what is your suggestion? You said in meditation, or what are some suggestions that you can tell us?
Well,
Me, I would do it in meditation. I would ask
yeah,
for that, but that's not the only way to do it, right?
no, no. And a lot of people they make working with angels too difficult. It's not. You can so easily connect. And for me, the easiest way is asking prayer, listening meditation. So and when we say prayer, you don't need to go into a church. You can do that in your head. You can do it out loud. Whatever. Just talk. Just talk. Just ask. And then you can listen in meditation. You'll find signs as well. We can go on a whole other thing for feathers, recurring numbers.
Hmm.
Some people connect with what we call angel sparkles, where they'll see like little dancing lights around them. You can even feel strokes, like angel strokes. But the easiest way to connect is just to in your mind or out loud speak, and to get out in nature. Nature is a wonderful place to connect with angels. And if you struggle a little bit at first, there's lots of really nice guided meditations that you can find on, YouTube, different channels. There's lots of guided meditations that you can use first. But I find just speaking, just connect,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll be meditating, and then, I'll have maybe 3 different things that I'm trying to quote figure out, right? I mean, I know that it's going to come in the right timing. I know that there's a direction I should be going in. I'm just not sure what that is yet, or whatever it is. And I will just talk. Like you said, I'll ask out loud, because if I'm in a place, typically I'm in a place where when I'm meditating, nobody's going to hear me anyway. But you don't have to do it out loud. Like you said, you can do it in your head. But it's amazing the answers that come to you. And that's like, it talks right back to me. And if it's people that I'm asking it, I hear it right back, like the answers. And I'm like, okay. Like, and I'm actually saying out loud, like, okay, I get it now. Like, I get so excited. Like, I get like so excited. It's like, oh my God, like, I hear you. Like, why didn't I think of it before? But that's because I didn't ask.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't think about it before.
Yeah. Exactly. And a lot of the time, I always think, thank you, and the gratitude, definitely. But I think as well, a lot of the time when you ask something like that, you'll just get this huge, what we call downloads, and inspired ideas, answers. And it's that quick and that sudden, that that's guidance. So you just have to write it down really quickly.
Right. So that brings me to what I was going to mention when I heard you say that, because I talk a lot about, I have 2 journals. I have my journal that I write in every day, and then I have my business journal. And it doesn't call it a business journal. I just call it a business journal because that's how I separate it out from my regular journal where I do my other journaling in. But that's where I put all my inspired ideas in there. And they come to me most of the time. I've got 3 times that mine come to me most. And for me, it's in meditation during those times when I'm asking. So then directly after that, I go straight there and I write it down. You said, because you'll forget. And then you're like, I know that there was something. Right?
Exactly. Even if it's just a word, sometimes it'll just be a word. Just get it all down quickly, and then you can go back and you can go, that's what that was. And then the ideas will come around back. But it's so good to journal. So good to journal.
Yeah. We'll talk about
so many different journals for different things.
Oh my gosh. Because for me too, another time for me, and I talk about manifest fitness, because there's, when I'm exercising is another time that I have a lot of those, because I'm almost in a meditative state, even if I'm being active. So if I'm doing a HIIT routine where, you look at you think, how in the heck would she be meditating? But I mean, my brain is in a higher place. Like my whole entire consciousness is up in my higher self at that point. And so I get all these downloads of things. Other time for me is at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That is the prime time between 3 and 4, and 3:30, and if it's 3:33, oh well, that's just on that.
I've had that before. I've looked at the clock. It says 3:03. Yeah.
Well, it's a very the Trinity. It's a really spiritual time, and you'll find a lot of spiritual people. That's when they get the most inspired. It's a thing, because you call it the 3 a.m. club. You can go on. Who's up? Who's in the 3 a.m. club? Oh, me.
Actually, we should do that one day. I know we're in different time zones, but because who usually comes to me with messages at that time is my grandmother.
Yes.
I was very close to my grandmother, and she is the one at that time. Now, when I'm meditating and when I'm doing my exercise meditative type stuff, I don't normally get messages from her, but I will get those messages at between 3 and 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I wake up and I walk, and I'm like, okay, all right. And it used to scare me because I used to wake up at 3 in the morning when I was younger with messages. And but so I know we got off on this whole tangent about this, but it's so true that it doesn't, if you are meditating to an angel or asking questions, those answers might come to you at different times, not just when
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it's so funny that you mentioned that, like when it comes when you're little. But I think that's where there's this whole scary thing around being
yes,
spiritual. It's because it was always, oh well, don't talk about that if you've got that gift. Don't tell people you've got that, else they'll think you're strange. So we all covered it up. We all covered it up. And like now, everybody's coming out of the spiritual closet because everybody has, you know, who has gifts wants to let that be seen. And it's brought so many women together, especially through social media, that they're not afraid to talk about it anymore. So, and then when you're little anyway, certain things do scare you because of the movies or, Ghostbusters and all that. So it can be a little bit scary when you're a child. But if you've got gifts as a child, as a lot of children have,
yes.
then it's important that we know about that, and then we can help them to deal with it without scaring them, I think. Because how many of us have not let our gifts come through till we are older? But it is incredible when you get the download. It's amazing.
Isn't it?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
so that was the long answer to the question that I asked you about
Yeah.
the
We
angels.
went off on a tangent a
Yeah,
little
but
bit.
it's so true. I think so many people get into that place though where they're either not sure how to do it,
Yeah.
or the ones that do aren't sure, are the answers supposed to come to me now, or are they going to
Yeah.
come some other time? And it just depends. But it
Yeah.
all goes around love, right? This is all about love, because when you're
Yeah.
I feel that when you're meditating, this is love for yourself,
Yeah.
because you're
Yeah.
taking time to listen to your intuition.
Yes. Definitely.
And then you have
Definitely.
your rose quartz there. So do you have your rose quartz beside you when you meditate?
Yeah, and it depends what meditation I'm doing as well, because if it's like a meditation to connect with my angels, I'll have different crystals as well. But yeah, when any love work, always have those thoughts there, always. But it's just such a. Do you know what's funny as well is people may have experienced this. Crystals can disappear and then come back again. At
Yes.
different times when they're needed. And I had 7 little rose quartz tumble stones that disappeared for 2 years, and then they just came back again. And I was like, "Oh, hi guys, nice to see you back." But they do tend to move around. But yeah, you can even have it while you're working. If you're working on a project that you want to give a lot of love to, if you're working, like if I'm doing a PDF for clients, and put the rose quartz name, so you just pour in love on your
Yes.
clients as well through your work. So within meditation, I'd say it does depend what meditation I'm going into, what, if it's a guided one or if it's an angel one. I use different crystals for different meditation work.
Okay.
But a nice day as well for rose quartz is a Friday, because Friday has the 7 archangels all have a certain influence over certain days of the week, and Fridays is Archangel Uriel days. So I think Friday's a nice day of love to have your rose quartz around you. And again, the energy is so incredible the way they work, because it's leading us into the weekend where we're going to be spending time mainly with our loved ones as well. So it's a nice way to set the energy around that as well.
So
Yeah.
Friday, then let's have everybody on Friday get their rose
Yes.
quartz,
Yes.
look at themselves in their eyes when they wake up in the morning.
Yes. That Friday feeling. Get
That's
that
right.
Friday
That's
feeling.
right. You do the when you're cleansing, put some crystals
Oh yeah.
for the
Yeah.
crystal beauty. Is that what
Yes.
it's called? Pretty much crystal
Spiritual beauty.
spiritual
Spiritual.
beauty.
Yeah.
And we really do that and talk to the angels, talk to
Oh
Angel
yeah.
Ariel,
Oh
and
yeah.
let's. The
Yeah.
reason why I'd love for everybody to start this on Friday is because that is Uriel's day, right? Angel Uriel's,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then you've gotten all these tips and tricks. So try them, and then do it
Yes.
on Saturday. But it'll be, the energies are so far out there on Fridays.
Yes.
So as numerology comes into this, because of February just being the month of
Yeah.
where everything comes together, and with the numbers as well,
Yeah.
correct? With
Yeah.
love.
Yeah. Absolutely. And like 6 is the number of love as well, because if you're a 6, you're known as the caring one, because 6 is a massive love giver. It was so funny, I was reading some live numerology read charts in one of my groups, reading them live, and it just was, there was some 6s in there, and it was all about, saying you need to be open to love more because you just pour in love, and I'm like, yes, that's me. But 6 is the number of love. It's about customer care. It's about sharing with relationships. And you'll find a lot of 6s are in childcare or nursing, somewhere where they're sharing love or giving love and care. So the incredible energy is, if you're a 6, the vibrational date is a 6, and it falls on a Friday, that's like triple vibrational energy. That's just a whole lot of beautiful love around that day. And even the days themselves within the month, they have different energy levels.
Yes.
I explain a bit deep. So you could have the number vibrating with itself, the number as it stands in the week and as it stands in the month. So it brings a whole lot of different energies to it. Once you get an understanding of numerology within forecasting, you get a better understanding of that. It's a bit complicated at first, but it's just, there's so many love vibrational days around this month, around February. And I think sometimes as well, because we've just come through a 4 month, and sometimes the 4 is about being grounded, it's about being organised, sort of quite inside the box thinking. And then we've come into a 5 month, which is all about freedom, adventure, new beginnings. So it's just incredible the way the energy works. So we've got a lot of love energy days around that. So it's just like the universal flow of energy is incredible. It's incredible. And the way the moons fall into it as well. It's just amazing. So it all comes together.
So when we're talking about love too, let's remind everybody that the first thing that you have to do is have self-love. You have to have a healthy self-perception. I mean, you just there's no way around it. You can't take a shortcut. You can't just forget about it and put it on the back burner and figure you'll deal with that later. I mean, you just can't do it. And we've all had times in our lives. I know that's why I wrote the 30-day self-perception makeover book, was for people to be able to change their self-perception and get a great foundation in 30 days so then it can grow from there. Because there was a time that I would keep saying, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this and I'll deal with myself later. Like, I know that I have to do that. I know that, but I was putting it in the wrong order. Right.
And you have to make time for yourself.
You have to, because if not, your cup is then empty. You know,
exactly.
I always like to say now I consider myself a half glass full kind of girl. And that's because I consider myself half glass full or falling over with love.
Yes.
But in giving, but in knowing that, I used to be that girl too. But that same girl used to always give. And now I know that I have to keep, it's a constant rotation. I have to keep filling my cup.
Yeah.
In order to be able to give what I'd like to give back to this world and this universe. And that's what I'm here for. So that's what I'd like to do. But one thing I want to just mention too, we all have this infinite power, right? We all have this intuitional power. We all have the power to create, manifest, magnetize our life on purpose. We all do. So why not do it on purpose? But be careful what you wish for as well. Because, we're talking about love and we could say, I want this, and this, and you will get that, but be sure, that, we don't have time to go into all this right now. So that'll be, it's the month of February. We'll be talking about love again, but a different kind of love, right? Veering it in a different direction. But just for now, I guess, a lot of people want this whole relationship thing and soulmate and things of that nature. But just remember to be careful. I always say, be careful what you wish for. You've heard it a million times, but it's the same sort of thing as you're manifesting on purpose. So this is serious. Like, this is real, right? It's not some woo-woo thing. Like, it is real. So treat it that way.
And I think sometimes it's good that we don't get instantaneously what we ask for.
Because we can change it.
I think it's good that things take time sometimes.
Right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But from all of this, just know that this has to start with yourself. If we can tell anybody out there anything, right, that's listening to us, it has to start with your healthy self-perception, self-love, and you then, while you're working on that, use all the energies, all of the universal energies that you can for your benefit, which is for love. You go ahead and tell us again, the rose quartz and
and Archangel Uriel, Archangel Michael will help you with that. But I also think it's important to have things to look forward to. You should always be planning something going forward. Remember, as a child, we used to get so excited when we knew we had a holiday coming up, or even go to a friend's house for a treat. That feeds yourself, love it, feeds your soul. So always, 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 it doesn't matter how big or how small it is, you could think, oh, okay, on Friday I'm going to look forward to going out and buying myself some flowers, or I'm going to go and have a glass of champagne, or I'm going to go and have, in a week, I'm going to go and have dinner with a friend. Always give yourself something to look forward to. And I like to think if you can, a little trip or at least a day out somewhere, every couple of months, that's something special that puts you on a couple of months. It keeps your energy up and flowing for a couple of months. So having little love rewards, I like to call them, going forward is important to keep your energy topped up as well. And your rose quartz, definitely your rose quartz. But when we talk about crystals, we can go into so much more. Yeah.
So I think we've given you some basics to at least work on for this month of February for love. Listen out though for the next podcast, which will be a little more in depth about love, but we're going to focus more on relationships then. And how to magnetize, manifest the relationship of your desire if that's where you're meant to be right now. So we're going to go through all of that, which is awesome. And if you are in a place right now where you are really down, like we talked about before, about looking in the mirror and just finding anything, or you're surrounded with negative energies, if you are in a place right now and you think, what do I have to look forward to? Like, what do I have to look forward to? And we've all probably been there at some point. And I work with some people that are like that. And I know I'm not saying it's always easy, right? But just remember though, we're in a place where we are, right? Denise and I, because we work on ourselves every day. This is the process. It's every day.
You've got to pick one little thing, it doesn't matter how small it is, pick one little thing that will raise, like you say, will raise your vibration. It will make you feel good about yourself, that you have something to look forward to, just build yourself up that way. It's little steps. If you're, in a bad relationship, or if you're low, it's little steps that can help you build back up. And not to put too much pressure on yourself.
And be grateful, right, for those little steps and those little progresses. And I also have a chapter, it's called Day 6 in the 30-day self-perception makeover, that talks about the go-to vision. And those are for everybody, but they are extremely helpful to people that are in a place right now in their life that they're like, okay, how did I get here? Like I have to look forward to. So just keep that in mind as well. There are ways you can contact myself or Denise. So you can reach me at the links below, and Denise at the links below, CathleneMiner.com for all of my information. And Denise, where can they find you?
In my Facebook group, Spiritual Queens Rising, or on my page at Denise Martinez Rossini.
So we will see you guys on the next podcast. Please share this podcast, subscribe to it, go over to our Facebook pages and like those. We're also both on Instagram as well. And we will see you on the next podcast. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye.